Oh, what a day. We got a call for a raccoon. I just got done climbing a freaking huge tree to save a raccoon. But I had some wonderful help. We got a call about a raccoon, got contacted actually via Facebook. It was in a baby in a parking lot of a Lowe's out here in Winter Haven. And a girl who's brought us a raccoon before volunteered to get it and bring it. And so, you know, I guided her through the steps of getting it. She goes out to get the raccoon, and there is a crazy woman out there who proceeded to cuss her out and scream at her in front of her child and everything else, telling her she's not taking the raccoon's going home with this random person. We deal with that kind of stuff all the time, but not that level of crazy, okay? People are crazy. So, we're leaving now. We ended up, I of course called FWC, who I'm licensed under, after the volunteer explained to the woman, you know, that what she was trying to do was not legal, that she was under my license to get the raccoon, yada yada. The woman wasn't having it. Well, the woman was so irate, this poor girl had to call the police before FWC even gets there. So I start getting ready and I head out immediately to handle the situation and meet FWC out there, who turned out to be actually a friend of a friend, which was cool. But this woman screamed so much that this poor baby is now terrified and stuck up in the daggum tree and wasn't coming down. So I had my catch pole and everything, but it was just too high. We were able to get help from Lowe's. They brought me out, this sweetest dude brought me out a ladder. So they held the ladder, and the officer helped me while I got up the tree and handed me my catch pole, and we got the baby down. And you know, I'm grateful for people like the officer and the guy that worked at Lowe's, you know, helping out, because we don't make money doing this. It's quite the opposite. And to have somebody volunteer to bring the animal to us is a really huge deal. That's $10 in gas that I didn't have to spend, wouldn't have had to spend, to go get it, bring it to my house. That's $10 of food I can put in an animal's mouth, or $10 I can put towards a vet bill for an injured animal. And because of this woman and her actions, you know, that she cost me a volunteer, she cost me money that I, you know, wouldn't have otherwise had to spend. And that the officer, she cost the officers time, 2 officers, you know, she wasn't having it. And she gave them a really hard time too. And so when you have people who are properly licensed or properly trained, people who know what they're doing and are telling you that, you know, this is a situation that they're handling, stand back and let them handle it. You don't take a raccoon out of the wild and bring it home to make it a pet. From what I understand, this woman was living out of her car. You really don't want to have a raccoon living in your car either. But these are wild animals. They do carry diseases. And it's not something the general public should be handling. Appreciate them from afar, you know. So, I tried to get Branson to videotape while I was up in the tree. And I'm scared of heights. That was terrifying. I was scared. Branson, do you hear me? I was shaking. So, that's my day in a nutshell. That was an interesting rescue. I don't know where I am. I just got us lost.
It's okay. The clip you're about to hear, it's an audio clip that I had taken of the lady talking to the officer. The beginning, whenever we first got there, cut out, but she was saying that the animal had rabies and stuff, so we're not supposed to be getting it, which it doesn't make sense at all.
People's stories change when they know they're in trouble, Branson.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what you're going to hear now.
DCF on somebody for them,
For what?
for endangering their child, for a wild animal with rabies.
Are you a veterinarian?
Do you see how I
no,
feel?
stop. Are you a
I
veterinarian?
was told by Winter Haven
No.
Police Department not to mess with it because it might have rabies.
Okay.
How do you know if it don't have rabies?
Man, just listen. Would you listen? Okay.
You just said it has rabies.
No, I didn't.
That's exactly what you just said.
If it did, is what I'm saying. If you're putting your child in danger because it might be. We can go on and on with
No.
this. I'm not the bad
Ma'am,
person. I
stop.
understand what you have to do. I understand the situation. I understand this.
Ma'am.
But when you're coming
No,
on
I'm
my
not-
view, and I've seen it, and we have freedom of speech. I'm not hurting nobody or anything.
No,
And
ma'am, I'm
it's
trying
not
to
gonna change.
educate you.
I'm very educated with it because I do.
No,
I-
ma'am, you're not. I'm trying. That's what I'm trying.
This
to
is
do.
more than one thing
No, ma'am.
that I have. No, I'm sorry. If you feel like I should be educated, okay. I learned something today. They don't have to have credentials. I'm gonna take that as my substance of learning. But when you come by here and you see a man throwing bread at it and trying to they need to be properly educated on how to.
How would you do it different?
I wouldn't be standing up throwing bread at it. I would probably come out here and sit. I would have that thing that she's got in her hand. I would have a proper cage, and I dang sure wouldn't have my child in the car or my grandchild.
So,
She came up and ate out this lady.
And if I'm,
which
yes.
means yes, it does.
Okay.
What that tells me
Okay.
is that people have been illegally feeding it.
This is my first time today.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If it is that comfortable coming up to people, then that means people have been illegally feeding
Right.
it.
Let's see. The same thing I said. So whatever said, just leave it alone, let it go.
Yes, ma'am. Now, with them coming out here, they can bring their children out here because that is how you gain experience. They are not putting that child in any type of harm.
You're right, because the child should be running back and forth, yelling and hollering, scaring the raccoon. You're right. You got me there. Okay.
Okay. By them coming out here and the child experiencing it, it is not causing them any harm.
Okay.
It is
Understandable.
educating them.
I would
on
have
how
a little
to do
bit
it.
bigger vehicle to separate them, or we're going to put it in the trunk.
Yes, you can. They absolutely can. They can put it in the trunk. If it's in a box,
I can't believe
it's
They'll
not getting
probably
out of the
take it
box.
to a real pretty place, a forest or somewhere.
Yes. From here, it doesn't stay in that box for long. They take it from here, transport it to a rehab facility where they have veterinary.
That's where I called.
Right, right. I
That
read
way
that.
they can make sure that it is healthy.
I read that.
Yep.
And then once they
I know what they're going to do with the record. I already know that.
once it gets older, then they can release it. But they have to get it from point A to point B.
But I still feel like I had the right to stop. First of all, if I didn't do this, how did I not know? You know what I'm saying? When
If you think
still,
that-
however, whatever
okay.
I say, you're going to try to
No,
get friendly.
I'm trying
That
to educate you on what to
He's
do.
coming at me, bro. First of all, I'm not your bro. I have kids his age. You don't call me bro. You don't even know me. My name is Janice. You know, the way they come at you. If she's the one who's supposed to be catching him while she's sitting on her butt in the car with her legs kicked up, kid running back and forth, and he's, see what I'm saying? You're not,
Okay. I will explain that to you.
you'll
Okay?
explain me why he's doing that.
Yes. Again, they can't just walk up to it and grab it. They have
I
to.
know that.
Okay, then let me talk, please. I'll let you ramble. Let me ramble.
Because you're still not listening.
No,
to what I'm
ma'am,
saying.
you're not listening
You're
to
still
me.
going to help me. Anyway,
Okay,
it's
y'all are free to
over
leave.
with.
Look.
I'm free to leave.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
not being
Okay.
held.
No, you're
And
not.
I want to thank you so much, ma'am, for doing what you did because
Oh,
big step project.
thank you.
Because apparently my ignorance is not getting me nowhere.
Well, don't lower yourself.
I'm not going to lower myself.
We got
Because somebody
help.
keeps thinking I need education when I already know whatever. And no matter whatever I do and say, they're still going to say it.
Okay, you have a
Because
good day.
anyways, ma'am, like I said, my name is Janice. I didn't
Okay. Roberta.
Roberta, nice
Yeah,
to meet
so
you.
I called Tampa. We're all taken
Thank
care
you
of.
so much because you went through, you got this ball rolling. And second of all, apparently my ignorance has got me wherever. But I'm free to go, so I can go.
Yes, you
Okay.
can.
Bye-bye.
My time.
To our wild, because then they end up as an invasive species. Does anybody know what an invasive species is? What's an invasive
Close
species?
to extinct.
No, that,
That's endangered.
that's endangered, right? That's endangered. So an invasive species is an animal that does not belong here, but is living in our environment in the wild. And they outcompete our native animals for food and for habitat, and that is something we really don't want. Does anybody know about the problem we have with the snakes and the invasive snakes in the Everglades? the big pythons there, doing the python hunt and stuff like that. So that's a good example. It's an invasive species. We have iguanas all over down South Florida. That's an invasive species. So we take those animals in to prevent that from happening, because people see in a pet store, they see these tiny little tortoises and they think, oh my gosh, it's so cute, it's going to make a great pet. And then they become a 50, 100, 200 pound tortoise, and they either can't keep them contained anymore because they don't have proper enclosures, or they don't want to feed and deal with them anymore because they cost so much to feed. So then they just take them and they dump them out in the wild, and that's a no-no.
Or they eat.
So we'll take them in to prevent that from happening. And that's how we got Herbie, and we have 2 others as well.